Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live this morning. Good to have you on with us this morning. As usual, we appreciate it. And I'll wait a moment or two so we can do the roll call. Carrie from Nebraska, numero uno this morning. Okay. Brenda, good morning. And Nativity, how are you? Okay. And the scroll is slow again. John, good morning. There we go. Nick from our staff. John from Elgin, Illinois. Etta, good morning. And I'm waiting. I don't understand. Wendy, good morning. Markham, nice to have you on. Joan, how are you? As the folks come on here this morning, and we're going to look at a couple of studies. Wendy, another Wendy this morning. Good morning, Wendy. And Mary, Colette, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. And that's the people. Elaine, Zian, good morning. And Kathy. Maybe they don't want me to do the roll call anymore to say hello. Connie, good morning. How are you? Nice to have you on. We appreciate you guys. Okay. So maybe they're telling me to get going. And Fran from Orangeville. Deanna, good morning to you. And a couple more. Rosa, how are you? Mary Jane, Connecticut. Good morning, Mary Jane. We appreciate you coming on with us, and we enjoy that. Maria, good morning. And Dorothy. And Adeline. And let's just say hello to a couple of more folks here this morning. Seriously, guys, my scrolling is slow as molasses this morning. And Maddie Ange, good morning to you. We appreciate that. Elsie. Okay. Francis Marie. Okay, Linda, how are you? Again, thanks for coming on and making this podcast so popular. We appreciate that. And Deb from Detroit, Michigan. Evangeline. You know what I'm going to talk about? Actually, this came up yesterday. Sharon, how are you? And this came up yesterday. So yesterday we talked about depression, right? I sort of gave you and Lise, how are you? The etiology of depression, right? Like why? And we looked into what was more my clinical experience, but it was interesting because yesterday this came out in a journal, the Omega-3 and the brain and Omega-3 and depression. So I was telling you that one of the things that I found over the years is that people were low in vitamin D, people were low in B12, people were low in magnesium, and people were low in Omega-3. Things that I used to see clinically, and this study is saying that's absolutely true. Omega-3 improves depression symptoms. Love Omega-3. And that's why it's really important to understand this. Really, really important to understand this. The Omega-3 that I'm talking about, the Omega-3 that this study is talking about, is not found in the plant kingdom. It's not there. Now, plants have oil. And they can have omega-3, like hemp. But it's not EPA, nor is it DHA. And for those who follow us here, I'm a big guy on people calling me fathead. I like that. I take it as a compliment. Because when you analyze brain fat, you realize that it's made up mostly of DHA. Your brain is fat. So it's important to consume healthy fat. Study after study after study confirms this. And the more they look at animal fat, so when you eat a grass-fed steak, let me tell you this, you're going to get more omega-3 DHA than even fish. And I love fish in a capsule. Okay. For those of you who love fish, fish is so good for you. It is. And because it provides DHA and EPA, but especially DHA. And here's what they found, okay? Now I'm going to bring you 5 things that omega-3, here's what they found for the brain. I'm not even going to tell you like what every cardiologist would know. They know this, that omega-3 is good for your heart. Isn't it funny that cardiologists will, they might not tell you because they take it. They take fish oil. They don't often tell their patients they should, but they take it because if they've done any reading at all, even in mainstream medicine, they agree omega-3 is good for your heart. Even people that tout the Mediterranean diet will tell you, well, it's because of oil. They eat fish. Yeah, good. It's good for your heart. But folks, it's, in my opinion, even better for your brain. It's even better for your brain. Now, this study looked at 5 things. One of them was depression. And the higher the levels of DHA in your bloodstream, in your tissue, the higher the levels are, the better outcome for your brain. And one of them was on depression. Higher the DHA, the less symptoms of depression. Here's what they say. Improve mood, improve sleep in terms of depressive symptoms. The mood was better. And this was brought to you by the Journal of American, the American Medical Journal, JAMA, Medical Association. Better results in depression. So people that are depressive, they don't have enough fat in their brain. They're low in fat. As I mentioned yesterday, you need an oil change. Your brain needs an oil change. Reminds me, I got to bring my truck in. It needs an oil change. When they ask me what kind of oil to put in it, I don't know. You guys are the expert. Don't ask me. But when it comes to your body and your brain, guys, you need DHA. So eat it. And for me, because I used it so much in my office, I love a high DHA. I'm big on that. 5 ways, this study says 5 ways, 5 things improve in your brain when you're taking omega-3, especially the DHA. Okay? We already talked about 1, that's depression. Better. The outcomes of depression are better. You know, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if when a patient is depressive, wouldn't it be nice down the road where medicine would look at deficiencies and start treating deficiencies instead of everybody gets the same antidepressants? I'll tell you, there's a lot of negative ink out there on antidepressants. Meant to be taken short term. And really the outcomes haven't been good. You know, you look at a medication over a long period of time, and you know what they're finding out? We really haven't been that successful. We're really not making a dent. But because medicine is so entrenched in the pharmaceutical industry, it's hard to get anyone to think outside the box. So when you get a physician that understands the importance of omega-3, they're usually thinking of heart, not the brain. But this study is showing it is very effective in depression, in treating depression. So, folks, you know someone that's depressed? In the family and friends, tell them this. I don't know if they'll comply. You can bring a horse to water. You can't make them drink it, but you can at least put some salt. Give them some salt so they become thirsty. Maybe they'll look into this. Okay? 5 ways. Now, here's what the study said. In overall, okay, high DHA, overall, is effective in all-cause mortality. It reduces all-cause mortality by 14%. Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? If it's good for your heart, and let me, I won't go into a lot of detail, but let me just give you a couple of things. You know what DHA does? Omega-3? It lowers your triglycerides. Now, they didn't even say this in the study, but that's a fact. It lowers your triglycerides. And that's good for you. That's good for your heart. But they're saying the reason that omega-3 is good for your heart in this study is because they're showing it to lower inflammation. Right? And we know that inflammation, first of all, is not Houdini. You just don't have inflammation for the sake of inflammation. Inflammation comes from somewhere. The number 1 cause of inflammation causing heart problems is from food. It's bad, crappy food. Insulin and insulin resistance increases your inflammation in the body, which can be very detrimental to your heart and your brain. Inflammation isn't the root, but it's certainly a major factor when it comes to any kind of chronic disorder. That's why I like to look at people's C-reactive protein. It's the best marker of inflammation. So is vitamin D too, you know. Vitamin D is a hormone, by the way, and it's a biomarker. I love to look at vitamin D levels because if you got low levels of vitamin D, you have an inflammatory response. Vitamin D is very anti-inflammatory. Viderma, get in the sun. 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's all you need. Okay. Higher the rate of omega-3, the overall reduction in all-cause mortality by 14%. Good for everything. Here's another one. Okay, so improve depressive symptoms, number 1. Number 2, all-cause mortality, according to the study. 3, it protects against neurotoxins. Here's what they see, okay, and this study was kind of interesting to look at it. When you have neurotoxins in the brain, okay, how do neurotoxins get into your brain? They cross the blood-brain barrier. Your blood-brain barrier and your blood-gut barrier are very significant. You know what leaky gut is? When the barrier has been compromised, either through a bad diet, high sugar, antibiotics. One of the major culprits in creating leaky gut, and remember, leaky gut, leaky brain, because what gets into the bloodstream that don't belong there, yeast doesn't belong in your bloodstream. Garbage doesn't belong in your bloodstream. You have a barrier. It's called your blood-gut barrier. All this stuff years ago was, what? We didn't understand it compared to what we know today. We didn't understand the microbiome, the bacteria that saves your life, my friend. The bacteria that saves your life. Quit over cleaning. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. All these sprays and all these, you go to a restaurant today and you're in a toxic soup. Because everybody's got germ phobia. I've never seen anything like it. And I feel like screaming out, you know, will you stop? Don't worry about the virus. Worry about cancer from all these neurotoxins. You're taking a bath in that stuff. Ooh. You need bacteria. Don't wipe it out. It's on your side. But when the microbiome gets affected, like I said, number 1 cause is antibiotics. Last week we talked about the upper GI, when you don't have enough acid in your stomach. You're not breaking food down properly. You're not killing bad guys that are coming into your body through your upper GI. Leaky gut. And then what gets compromised? The blood-brain barrier. Neurotoxins travel in the bloodstream We're surrounded by neurotoxins today. All the chemicals, all the chemical cleaners, pollution in the air, in the oceans, plastic from the top of Mount Everest to the placentas. What did they say? 80% of us in our urine, we have the Roundup. 80% of us have Roundup in our urine. Holy moly. That ought to scare the life out of us. That's why I try and get people to have a good microbiome, because there's nothing that will protect you from toxins like your microbiome. Friendly bacteria, they're on your side. Why do you think I'm so big on probiotics? Okay, that was a little rabbit trail. Now I'm back, because we're talking about omega-3, specifically the DHA. What does it do? It helps to protect against neurotoxins, because if neurotoxins come in to the brain, you know what they do? Here's what they do. They shrink your white matter in your brain. You got gray matter and white matter. And it matters what your matter is. And you know what toxins do? They shrink the brain. They shrink it. That's not good. Remember, I want to be called fathead, not skinny head. I don't want my brain to shrink. I go on YouTube or whatever, and you can look at videos of autopsies and the brain that shrinks in Alzheimer's and dementia. Neurotoxins have an effect on that when they get into the stream. If you don't have a good blood-gut barrier, and if you don't have a good blood-brain barrier, guys, this is microscopic. You have a halo around your head. You don't see it. It's not because you're a saint. Okay? It's not because you're a saint. It's your protection of your brain. You got a blood-brain barrier. But not if you don't have a good microbiome, because that's what your blood-brain barrier is made up of. It'll keep the toxins out, but if you get toxins in, what they're showing is that omega-3 helps the brain from shrinking. It's very good against neurotoxins. JAMA. Okay. So I talked to you about all-cause mortality. I talked to you about depression. I've talked to you about neurotoxins. Here's another one. Better stroke outcomes. This is according to the study. If you're on omega-3, eating it, fish or steak, or supplementing, or both, your outcomes for strokes are better, less damage, more protection. And then, of course, fifthly, memory. Better memory. People ask me, Doc, why are you taking DHA? I said, 'cause I'm old and I want a brain. I do not want my body to outlast my brain. I don't want that. Oh, Doc, I want to live till I'm 110. I don't know if you want that or not, do you? Not if you don't have a brain. Not if you got Alzheimer's or dementia. Do you want that? I don't know anybody that wants that. one of the biggest problems in Alzheimer's. We've talked about it. When people insist on being carboholics, they're usually very, very, very low in omega-3. People that insist on being vegetarians, God bless them. Vegans, God bless them. They don't get the right fat. They need an oil change. They need the animal fat. It's all positive. It's all good for you. And your memory needs it. Your memory needs it. Not only your chemistry there and your the grid up in your brain, it needs it. Your memory center, the what? Guys, you know the answer to this. Your hippocampus. Hypothalamus needs it, and the hippocampus needs it even more. It needs that healthy fat, guys. It needs that healthy fat. Now, this study was showing on these 5 things that are really good for you. All-cause mortality, protection against neurotoxins, depression, improvement in it. They were using better stroke outcomes and better memory outcomes. Guys, you can measure this. You can do the memory test. And they're showing that within a couple of months of supplementing, they were using supplement 1 to 6 grams of omega-3. It's fabulous. The results are astounding. Didn't surprise me, because I've been talking about this for a long time, but it surprised the journal how effective it was for the things that I just talked to you about. 1 to 6 grams. Now, that's not that much. Like a gram, like 1,000 milligrams, okay? You look at our capsules in like how much DHA, because I'm very big on therapeutic doses, okay? I'm big on therapeutic doses. And a lot of studies are done, on vitamins or whatever, supplements. They do studies and then they give you enough for a mouse, and then they wonder why a lot of times, because I remember talking to researchers and I said, well, you're not using enough of it. Like, man, you got to up the dosage. I've been in practice for years. And I gave people therapeutic doses. Therapeutic doses. Man, if your memory's not right, you need therapeutic doses. So they were using, this is why they got results. They were using therapeutic doses. And like 1 gram to me is not even close, but 6 grams is 4 to 6 grams. I like that. And they were shocked. Well, yeah, but you didn't use, you didn't use a small amount. Small amounts are for mice. Men and women need higher amounts. And omega-3, folks, you're never going to take too much. Oh, I know what happened to me. Why I'm not well. I took too much omega-3. No. You're going to take too much omega-6. That's the world today. People take the wrong oil. Omega-6, omega-6, omega-6. It's the wrong oil. That's why one of the reasons we have so much inflammation today. Omega-6 drives inflammation. Omega-3 lowers inflammation. And our ratios are, I've seen studies 30-1 omega-6 over omega-3. It's what they cook fast food in. Every time I go by a fast food joint, I feel like screaming. Stop using that oil. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's peanut oil. Ooh. It's seed oil. It's good for your car, not your body, and certainly not your brain. Do an oil change in your car and use that oil. Don't use... You need high omega-3. And especially the animal kingdom omega-3. Your brain is made up of it. Replace what you're losing. Fathead. I'm teasing. No, but seriously. Fathead. The importance of omega-3. Studies, imagine, showing even in depression, it can be very effective. Very effective. So it goes back, guys, to that diet. It goes back to the diet. I'm telling you. Food is everything. Eat your steak, vitamin S. Eat your fish. Or like me, take it in a capsule. Okay. Interesting study, right? I think you guys would agree with that. Okay. So, what's Friday? Question and answer Friday. Share this, guys. Share it. Share it on Facebook. It'll become a podcast. The Doctors In podcast. Get your friends and family to download. You know how many people I talk to that download or watch the Facebook? It's amazing. When I travel, I meet people. Hey, I watch your podcast or your Facebook, and I give them a high five. Great. We appreciate it. So spread the news, folks. Okay. Okay, guys. We love you. We'll talk to you soon.